or in the hands of the BRA, intrigued the PNGDF.
The TVWAN News is proudly brought to you by
Hello and thanks for joining us. This is TVWAN News. In this edition, remote station had a surprise visit, landowners challenged to support St. John Ambulance, and Fiji team wins. About 13 people sustained serious injuries during a car incident this morning at the National Research Institute roundabout in the nation's capital. The casualties, both male and female, all adults, were assisted by the St. John Ambulance and were taken to the Port Moresby General Hospital for medical assistance. They were travelling in a PMV bus, Route 4, when they encountered the incident. According to an eyewitness, the PMV bus was driving out from Nautana towards the NRI roundabout, missed its lane and rolled over to the side of the road. The bus hit the nature park fence and stopped. The people of remote Dusin Station in the Middle Ramu district of Medang province celebrated Easter with Governor Ramsey Pariwa. Pariwa was in the locality to deliver funding he had promised in 2023 when he last visited for the launching of the Anand Coffee Cooperative Society. Dusin Mission Station borders Middle Ramu, Mulbaya in Western Highlands, Jimmy in Jiwaka and Kiram in East Sepik. It is only accessible by air. Dusin Station residents were surprised to have Medang Governor Ramsey Pariwa visit them on Easter Sunday. Pariwa travelled to Dusin, one of Medang's most remote stations located in Middle Ramu district, to deliver 2 cheques to 2 important institutions that continue to serve the people there. The funds were promised in 2023 when the governor last visited to witness the launching of the Anand Coffee Cooperative Society.
Pasin blood set sumi mas olim stroke. Ay pasin au tim blessing loka. Pasin blood set sumi olim yumi beten putim kapman igolong beten putim people golo beten putim all walk dream igolo beten na kapman baik sim conviction loka. You beten loya you know beten na kapman are God arem. Kapman ne musaj. God arem kapman baka. Check me financial assistance law non discretionary fund law. And now we present in this officially we present in 80,000 kina check igolong Anand Coffee Cooperative.
The first cheque of 80,000 kina was presented to Kavon Coffee Cooperative Society and 100,000 kina was presented to the Nazarene Church at Dusin. There was also more good tidings for Anand Cooperative Society. The governor announced his stance in brokering a potential market venue in China.
online long Fujian province, Pintang County, Fujian province. Already lokisimanan coffee. Namiat by kama brand ambassador. Nila puti best belum yantar lo kada product locally product nibla producing lo mana. Anan coffee one blood lo.
Prior to the presentation of the check, both institutions had to sign instruments for acquittal purposes later. Life PNG Care Children's Home was one of the 3 charitable groups that received a generous food donation from Best Gear Trading in Port Moresby on Wednesday, 17th April. The food was received by the home's founder and director, Colin Pake, and a few of the 65 children at their home in Gero Stage 1.
Easter, a time of renewal and new life. The little residents of Life PNG Care's Children's Home once again got to experience the joy that comes with Easter blessings, courtesy of Best Gear Trading. This Easter, a few of the 65 children and Life PNG Care founder and director Colin Pake received food rations from Best Gear Trading once again. They were overwhelmed with gratitude for the kind gesture.
Thomas is a Papua New Guinean. He is involving in the community and helping Papua New Guineans, not only us as a charity or NGO, but other community organizations, other NGOs, and other even government institutions. So what they've been doing over the years, it is so blessing and helpful for us who are caregivers and who provide a safe home. So for us, Life PNG Care, we've been in a partnership almost 7 years now. And without Best Gear support, we wouldn't be able to feed the kids, especially kids who are residing in the house here and outside as well. So with that, we really appreciate and be thankful for almost giving 22,000 worth of goods for this year Easter donation.
Pake said that with the country's declining economic status, with Kina devaluing daily, buying essentials like bag of rice is tough for many ordinary Papua New Guinean, let alone a not-for-profit charitable organization as Life PNG Care Children's Home.
As now our country is going down, Kina devaluates every day. And to buy one packet of rice, 1 kg is costly. And for us, 10 kg rice lasts for only 2 days. And feeding 65 to 70 mouths, I cannot survive and have the money to buy. But Thomas, thank you very much. God bless your heart and your support always.
The food supply donated also included cartons of sausages donated by the PNG Trading Limited, who collaborated with Best Gear in this charity event. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
Laloki Psychiatric Hospital in Central Province was also a fortunate recipient of food rations as an Easter blessing from Best Gear Trading, a company that sells family brand food and other household items. The CEO of the Laloki Hospital, Dr. Ludwig Nanawa, thanked the Best Gear directors and management for the food donation, adding that during Christmas season, a similar food donation was delivered to them, and that was when the hospital was at one of its lowest time.
This time around, you also came at the right time when our funding has become very low at this time as well. At the moment, we got, I think, 4,000 kina only in our account, operating account. So this one, with your assistance, it will keep us feeding our patients for the next maybe 2 months, depending on the number of patients we've got. So we would like this kind of donation from other companies as well. I hope what you've been doing can also instigate or encourage other companies to do the same, to come and give donation to government organizations like us who are struggling financially because government donations, government funding is not coming on time. We haven't received any funding for the hospital since the beginning of the year.
This is TVWAN News. Among stories after the break, Morobe landowners challenged and loss of traditional fishing practices.
A true champion is measured by their courage, their determination, and their passion to never give up and to always keep trying. With a delicious Milo in milk taste and added nutrients, Milo in milk is a great way to fuel our little champions with nourishing energy every day. Because true champions give it their all.
Milo, PNG and Mia. Find PNG made.
Open Edge.
Right across the nation, we eat snacks crackers. Emi trupla. All get a young plana lapun, only like him snacks crackers. Only make him here, no PNG, one time lay biscuit company. It's crunchy and tasty. It's irresistible.
Welcome back. A 20-foot container filled with over 1,000 boxes of books has arrived for the University Library in Rabaul, East New Britain Province. The books were donated by Library Aid International, an NGO based in Melbourne, Australia. The donation was made after the University Library reached out for help. Shipping and freight costs were covered by the organization. Of the boxes, 176 went to the University of Natural Resources and Environment. Sonoma Adventist College received 131 boxes, while the rest were delivered to accessible primary and secondary schools. Honeybee Play School also received early childhood materials. The university says the books are now being catalogued and will soon be available to students, another step forward for literacy in PNG. Landowners of Huon Gulf and Nawai in Morobe Province have been challenged to support the St. John Ambulance as it also extends services into their districts. The St. John Ambulance based in Lae needs more ambulances to service the 3 districts of Morobe.
The St. John Ambulance, based in Lae and supported by the Lae City Authority, annually assisted nearly 2,823 people in 2022. That number drastically increased to 6,624 people in 2023. And while it is based in Lae District, it also extends its services to the neighboring districts of Huon Gulf and Nawab. Ahi landowners of Butibam have issued a challenge to their counterparts after they donated a new fully kitted ambulance to the St. John Ambulance through the Butibam Pipeline Landowners Association.
Now the communities, now the Tupla districts, hopefully they will come on board as well and providing this support too. Butibam kicking off this Latin thing, maybe Oli can come in and give us the support too. So only start by one ambulance now. Give them St. John so that St. John like build them up this network long. So it's a start for us. We're initiating the idea. I'm sure none of our entities, organizations, we can help in pushing out, but this is the first time that one place is providing this facility St. John's long. The looks are long, so people are walking long, providing the unit over there long inside the lake.
Director of Ambulance Planning Ezra Kelly outlined that it would be ideal to have 4 ambulances on the road at one time, serving the second largest city in the country with a population that is well over 350,000. However, they currently can only manage with 2 ambulances per shift.
3 or 4 vehicles on the road because population is big now. Because 2 ambulances are operating in a day. Sometimes when you call, you have to wait a while. You have to wait a while because they are responding to other critical cases. Man close to like Dailongam, they have to go first. We have our ratings. So when you call, man, you know, so you can sick malaria, you can survive for tomorrow. You can survive for tomorrow. We will go for the mother and said maybe I'm pregnant, not mama and badai. St. John will attend to that. If there's a road accident, St. John will attend to that.
Aside from servicing Lay, Yuan Gulf and Naweb, Kelly said the ambulance also occasionally attends to critical cases in Bulolo. St. John Ambulance has been repeatedly appealing to the other districts to support their operations as well. Frida Kana, TVWAN News.
An environmental advocate in Milne Bay Province has expressed concern over the gradual disappearance of traditional fishing practices, once used sustainably by coastal communities in the region. Eco-Custodian Advocates Director David Mitchell says some of these age-old methods passed down through generations are no longer practiced, posing a cultural and environmental loss for Milne Bay. Among the practices highlighted by Mitchell are the use of coconut shell rattles to attract sharks, a technique similar to the famous shark collars of New Ireland, and the crafting of kites made from coconut leaves with spider webs attached, ingenious tools used by fishermen to catch fish. Mitchell said the loss of these practices is not just a matter of cultural erosion, but a missed opportunity to revive and integrate sustainable methods into modern fisheries management. He calls on communities to document and teach these traditional practices to future generations. The Madang Provincial Government and the Oil Palm Industry Corporation recently signed a Memorandum of Understanding for an inclusive, regulated and sustainable oil palm development. This is the first formal provincial partnership under the new Ministry of Oil Palm, making Madang the pilot province for an innovative model that brings together national government agencies, provincial authorities, landowners and the private sector. The MOU was signed by OPIC General Secretary Keb Senpopita and Madang Acting Provincial Administrator Daniel Aloy in the presence of Minister for Oil Palm Francis Maneke and Madang Governor Ramsey Pariwa. Minister Maneke said the partnership charts a new path, one that is guided by law, rooted in sustainability and driven by the people. The signing with the Madang Provincial Government includes a strong focus on customary land registration, demarcation and mobilization, a key challenge that has hampered the expansion of commercial agriculture in PNG. Minister Maneke noted that the Marape Rosso government, in its drive to boost agriculture and reduce dependency on imports, has prioritized the transformation of the oil palm industry. This includes the creation of the Ministry of Oil Palm, the approval of a national oil palm development policy, and the drafting of a comprehensive oil palm industry bill now in final consultation stages. TV1 News continues when we return. Stay with us.
Hiya, Mama. You wait then, but me add him special flavor.
Put in more flavor, put in more taste. Magic kakaru, get up a big smile on face. Time for Kim chicken, a great kumutu. Sip, sip, na mumu, yes, magic on you.
Maggi, the taste PNG loves.
This honking is doing your head in. Why don't you go and put a stop to it? Oh, maybe not.
Bing bang bing, ding ding bang, bum bum.
Boom! The One Talk jackpot is rolling over week on week. A life-changing 1 million kina. Get your tickets now. Draws every Friday at 7:30 p.m. Play now at 321lotto.com.pg or any of your 321 authorized retailer. 321. Win big every day.
Curly. Straight.
Soft.
Wavy. Afro. Short.
Long.
Healthy.
Palmolive Naturals for naturally beautiful hair.
It's formula infused with extracts like coconut oil, aloe vera and avocado to enhance your hair's natural beauty, giving you naturally beautiful hair that always looks gorgeous and smells great throughout the day. Palmolive Naturals.
Have a great hair day.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. Turning abroad, 7 people have drowned in Australian waters over the long weekend in what coastal authorities are describing as the worst Easter on record, a 9-year-old being the most recent death. The young boy died after becoming stuck between rocks off the shoreline at Southwest Rocks, bringing the death toll to 6 in New South Wales over the Easter weekend.
It's been a devastating weekend for families who've lost a loved one to drowning, the latest a 9-year-old boy. Emergency services were called to a beach on New South Wales mid-north coast at Southwest Rocks at around 3:30 p.m. after reports a young child had been trapped between rocks and the shoreline. Now, when New South Wales Police, New South Wales Fire and Rescue and Surf Life Saving New South Wales arrived and tried to free him from where he was trapped, they unfortunately couldn't save him and he died at the scene. Now, New South Wales Police are investigating the circumstances around this incident to try and understand what happened and will be preparing a report for the coroner. Now, this brings the death toll in New South Wales caused by drowning to 6. A father had passed away yesterday morning at Watamala Beach after being swept off the rocks. There was also another 3 deaths along the New South Wales south coast at Tathra, Wollongong and Green Cape, as well as a death in Sydney's North Shore suburb of Mossman. Now, in addition to this, Surf Life Saving New South Wales say they've carried out 150 rescues across the weekend, describing this as the worst Easter long weekend in history. Now, police are continuing their search for a 24-year-old man who was swept off the rocks here at Little Bay in Sydney's eastern suburbs. Now, many of these deaths over the weekend caused by drownings were a result of being washed off of rock shelves, and so authorities have really expressed their concern and warnings to the public around visiting the beach, especially as the Bureau of Meteorology are predicting a warmer than usual winter. And so the advice is to only visit patrolled beaches and to swim between the red and yellow flags.
Christians across Canberra marked Easter Sunday with prayers, hymns and even a few Easter eggs. The day that marks the rising of Christ began early with some gathering in the dark to greet the dawn.
An article of faith. Among the dawn services, this small band gathered outside, happy to meet the rising sun on Easter Day as they prepared to take bread and wine in communion.
He broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat. This is my body which is given for you. Do this in remembrance of me."
Across town, Reverend Benjamin Edwards played to a packed house at St Paul's in Manuka.
Forever and ever.
The settings may have differed, but in each place the rituals of 2,000 years of history were played out in similar fashion, and the Christian message was clear.
The Christian message about Easter is that we can always have hope, because there's no situation that is beyond God. There's nothing that's too far for God to get to.
Easter means to me a new life, from when Christ has died on the cross for us and from rising again. That gives me hope.
I think it's a time that brings families together and renews our faith.
Easter means that God is still alive. Jesus is coming to save us. Yeah. And he's giving a promise every day that life goes on and we have hope in him and we would see him again in heaven.
And while the story is old, one new minister in Canberra looked forward to her first chance to deliver an Easter service.
It's fresh and exciting and such a joy to open up this really old story, but a story that's still so relevant to people.
And earthly matters were on the minds of others as they delivered their message of hope.
We live in uncertain times. People are facing economic uncertainties. There's a rising cost of living. There's uncertainties with the whole world trading system.
Of course, there were a few of these around.
Ready, set and go!
But church was also fun, filled with bubbles, every time someone said Alleluia.
An Easter rodeo in Queensland's far southwest has proved a much-needed morale boost after the region was hit by record-breaking rain and flooding almost 1 month ago. Graziers in the region are still coming to terms with the aftermath, and for some, it's been the first opportunity to talk about it.
It's a highly anticipated event in the Outback calendar.
Funny how it's simple things in life.
But this year's rodeo in the tiny town of Eromanga has taken on new meaning.
Today was more about our community than our event.
Eromanga is one of many communities picking up the pieces after floodwaters devastated the state's west. While the town itself remained mostly unscathed, nearby properties were not so lucky.
Everyone had run several good years up here, and everyone's carrying large numbers of stock. And they said, "Oh, finally on top," and it's gone.
We lost 90% of our stud down the Wilson River, and that's tough. You just have to decide, don't you, whether you're going to rebuild and start again or whether you're going to walk away. And my husband and I don't walk away easily.
Despite graziers still counting the losses, organisers pulled together to make the rodeo happen.
It was a bit of a rush, but we got it together in the end. Everyone is in the same boat, although the scale might be different for some. Everyone went through it.
I think a lot of people still are in shock. I think a lot of people probably still haven't come to the real truth of it, because most people still haven't mustered their sheep and cattle.
Last month, these rodeo grounds were flooded. Now the water has receded, locals can come together, share a laugh and support one another.
And that's people in the bush in general, mate. We'll just make it work.
The competition in the arena this weekend coming second to social connection. A resilient community staying optimistic.
We're back, baby!
I think the future out here is quite strong. Hopefully, what we'll see good prices out the other end for the livestock producers and hopefully a good tourist season for the towns.
Easter Sunday brought a pause in hostilities among Australian leaders. But after a brief reprieve, they are preparing for the sprint to polling day. Early voting begins on Tuesday, and while Labor is feeling buoyant, the Liberals are facing questions about whether they have left it too late to convince Australians to back their plans and vote for change.
Over the halfway mark and getting ready to inject some heat into their campaigns.
We need the LNP to win government now.
That's our plan.
With wife Kirralie by his side, Peter Dutton spent Easter Sunday in the marginal Labor-held seat of Blair.
Remember what is important in life, and what is important is family, our friends.
Anthony Albanese returned to a spiritual home.
We'll get there. 13 days to go, but who's counting? Me.
Reflecting on his time at St Mary's School and seeing Christian values in action.
We weren't able to afford school fees, and in an act of generosity said just pay what you can.
Inside the cathedral, the Prime Minister and his fiancée Jodie listened to teachings on the triumph of good over evil. On the ABC's Insiders program, the Greens leader preached the importance of good housing policies over bad.
We've got a bit of a spring in our step.
With the polls pointing to a possible hung parliament, Adam Bant wants bureaucrats to begin work now, costing his plans to wind back negative gearing and capital gains tax.
We've got to really, diffuse this time bomb in a way that's fair.
Labor isn't touching that ticking time bomb at this election. The coalition's questioned its plans beyond that.
If the government is planning to abolish negative gearing and change CGT after the election, they've just got to come clear with the Australian people.
Asked if he takes advantage of the tax breaks as the owner of 2 investment properties, Michael Sukkar was initially hesitant.
I think I'm probably in positive gearing territory.
You don't know if you're negative gearing?
No, my properties are positively geared.
Extracting the truth in this contest is proving harder by the day. Labor claims its network of urgent care clinics are on the chopping block if Peter Dutton wins. The opposition has left it later than usual to put its full suite of policy offerings on the table. But according to senior figures, it's by design. With early voting to begin on Tuesday, the coalition reckons voters are only starting to tune in, and it's aiming to capture their attention when they do.
There's no one on our side waving a white flag.
Peter Dutton's down in the polls, but not out.
Immigration is often a divisive issue in Australian politics, and this election is no different. Labor is yet to announce a detailed policy, but says it wants to bring migration under control. The coalition has recommitted to reducing net overseas migration, claiming that it will help Australia's housing crisis. But experts say the problem is much more complicated, particularly in the outer suburbs of our cities.
They moved to Melton looking for an affordable house. They found a community. This event is marking the Muslim festival of Eid.
We invite people from different cultures, different ethnicities.
There's a reason Sonia's family chose to settle here in Melbourne's west.
There were good schools here, property was affordable, that was the main thing.
The vast majority of immigrants who come to Australia settle in our capital cities. This area is one of the fastest growing in the country.
They come out here for family, but we've got the issues around infrastructure, public transport not keeping up.
Meanwhile, in Fairfield, the independent mayor says the area in Sydney's west can't cope. The suburb has a long history of welcoming the country's new arrivals.
We just feel that sometimes the government uses the western suburbs to populate this country, but not necessarily puts back the infrastructure that is needed to maintain all of our quality of life. Fairfield's full.
New data from ABC Vote Compass found 49% of the 330,000 respondents wanted somewhat or many fewer immigrants in Australia. About 30% wanted the same levels as now, and just 16% wanted more. Now that's a shift from the 2022 Vote Compass results, where about 49% wanted more. Meanwhile, a Lowy Institute poll conducted last year found about 48% of Australians thought immigration in Australia was too high. Frank Carbone is calling for sustainable migration. But what do the experts think?
Rather than the idea that, certain areas face, too much of the load of migration, it's more a failure of effective city planning.
There's no magic number for the level of migrants in a society. It's really shaped by the norms and expectations of that society.
Communities across the country feeling the pinch.
The Liberal Party is vowing to crack down on crime, promising a new federal police team will better intercept illegal drugs at Australia's borders. The coalition also added it would pilot a sex offender disclosure scheme if it won government.
Opposition leader Peter Dutton says he wants to have AFP officers in every state and territory specifically tasked with cracking down on the trafficking of illegal drugs into the country. He says he wants to have better detection at Australia's borders. It's part of a broader crime push by the opposition leader today, including establishing a 12-month trial of a national child sex offender disclosure scheme. Now, the way that would work is that parents could ask authorities to find out if someone working with their child has a history in child sex offending. It's a bit different to his 2019 idea, which would have seen those names of child sex offenders publicly disclosed. Now, we know the issue of crime worked for the LNP here in the Queensland state election, but also in the Northern Territory for the CLP during their election. But look, with early voting beginning tomorrow, we are still awaiting more policy detail from the opposition, including things like defence spending. But we have actually heard from coalition figures who say that the sort of slower release of policy detail is actually by design. They don't think that necessarily everyone is switching into politics until this sort of tail end right towards the polling day on May 3.
In news just in, we have just heard that Pope Francis has died at the age of 88 this Easter Monday at around 9:45 this morning at his residence at Casa, at the age of 88 in his residence at Casa Santa Marta in the Vatican. His death was officially announced by the Cardinal Kevin Farrell, who praised the late pontiff's lifelong dedication to serving God and the Church, especially the poor and marginalized. After a prolonged struggle with respiratory illness, including the bilateral pneumonia, Pope Francis had returned from hospital to continue his recovery, but sadly succumbed early Monday this morning. And that ends the news segment. Later in sports, Fiji team show class and Wigmen maintain early winning form.
The PNG LNG project has now generated more than 30 billion kina for Papua New Guinea since production commenced. Nearly half of this amount has been paid as tax. Equity distributions are paid to KPHL and MRDC based on the interest they hold. Tax is paid to the IRC, while development levies and royalties are paid to DPE. For more information on direct and indirect benefits, visit PNG EITI's website.
Meet the bank for everyone, everywhere. As People's Microbank, we were proud to be a bank for the people. Now as National Banking Corporation, we are bringing modern banking to all in Papua New Guinea. With more branches and our friendly staff ready to assist you in more places, we are making money matters simple and fair. So wherever you are, however you say it, say hello better banking. Learn more at nbcpng.com.pg.
Tell him shorty come get it in. Come grind on me, but met it in. Mommy get loose, get loose, get loose. Pepsi in my hand, ice cold, no excuse. I tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with the fresh sound. Tell him who's gonna bring that groove down. Pepsi with that fresh sound. Pepsi, give me some Pepsi bottle. Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi, you like it? Pepsi bottle.
Welcome back. The visiting Fiji team, Viti Roofing Devil Bubbers, delivered an exceptional performance at the 2025 New Power Sports Talk Rugby Sevens tournament held at the Bava Rugby Park. Their fast-paced and exhilarating style of rugby not only earned them the championship trophy, but also won the admiration of the many fans who flocked to watch the finals.
Making history as the first overseas team to participate in one of Papua New Guinea's largest and longest-running off-season Rugby Sevens tournaments since its inception in 2018, the Devil Babas showcased the best of Fijian rugby over 2 thrilling days of round-robin competition. The grand final saw them face off against Port Moresby's Valley Hunters Mantas, where the Mbula boys maintained their high energy and intensity to claim the cup and a major cash prize of 20,000 kina. The Mantas finished as runners-up, taking home 15,000 kina. Coach Viliame Ratute expressed gratitude for the support received from sponsors, including naming rights sponsor New Power Limited, Comul's Minerals Holdings, and the Sports Talk Tournament Committee, which made the team's journey from Fiji possible. For many of the players, this was their first experience outside of Fiji, and the atmosphere in Port Moresby was unforgettable.
It's the first time ever for us in PNG, and we thank the Lord for bringing us this far, and we thank the sponsor, New Power, taking us across from Fiji to here, and most of the players, it's their first time out of the country from Fiji, and they having an experience here in Fiji. Last 3 days was really exciting, 3 days of rugby, and the supporters were real, unreal response from the crowd here in PNG, and also from the POMS Fijian community. They come out in numbers to support us, really appreciated it.
He highlighted that playing in PNG provided valuable lessons for his team, particularly regarding the physical and aggressive style of the game.
We really learned a lot from the boys here in PNG. We take back good lesson back at home, how aggressive the game was in the last 3 days, how they played their style of rugby. It's just too good, too good.
Reflecting on their success, Ratute noted that the Devil Babas have won 6 out of 12 local tournaments in Fiji, which set a solid foundation for their performance in PNG.
Back at home, we won the 7 series and won 6 tournaments out of 12, and that was a big platform for us. It's the first time ever a team can do that back at home in Fiji, and coming out here and win, just a bonus for us. Thank you to our sponsor, New Power, for taking us across and let us expose talent here in PNG.
From their experience in PNG, Ratute stressed that for rugby to evolve in the country, there needs to be focus on proper coaching and a shift in mindset adding that PNG players are naturally talented but need to learn proper skills and apply right techniques in sevens rugby. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
Port Moresby's premier off-season rugby sevens tournament, the New Power Sportstock Sevens, has once again achieved a remarkable success in its 8th year, further establishing its reputation as a staple event in the rugby calendar. The 2025 edition brought a new level of excitement with the participation of Fiji team Devo Babas, marking a significant milestone in the tournament's evolving history.
This year's tournament attracted a record 56 teams, making it the largest edition since its inception in 2018, with representatives from across the country and even Fiji. Tournament manager Benson Upas noted an increase in participation from the Momasa and NGI regions, with the inclusion of a team from Goroka adding to the excitement. Featuring 12 women's teams, including a contingent from Fiji, and 28 open men's teams, with Lay fielding the highest number with 6 teams. The tournament showcased diverse talent from all corners of Papua New Guinea. The majority of the teams were Moresby-based. Despite challenges in securing venues, the event proceeded on schedule.
It was interesting. 3 days of rugby. Yeah, we had a little bit of challenge with the venue, but it was we overcome the challenges through the event, throughout the event. Yeah, and we also, for the first time, we live streamed the event ourselves. But most interestingly, for the first time, we had the Fiji team coming over, both male and female. The Devo Babas, they're the current champions in the Fiji second, rugby union second. So that sort of leveraged the status of the tournament. But again, it wouldn't be possible without our major sponsor and the platinum naming rights sponsor for the last 4 years, New Power, and also for Kumu to come on board to support bringing in the Fijians.
Upas expressed his gratitude to the ongoing partnership and commitment between Sports Talk, naming rights sponsor New Power Limited, and Kumul's Holdings Limited, who facilitated Devo Baba's participation. Upas remarked that the initiative to invite the Fijian team was part of a celebration for Papua New Guinea's 50th independence anniversary and aimed to uplift the standard of rugby, particularly sevens.
Actually, for this year, we wanted to have an Australian male and a female team, and a Fiji male and a female team. We pulled through with the Fijians. Australia couldn't make it the last minute. Yeah. But next year, we're hoping to have, them coming back to defend the cup, and probably have 1 or 2 from Australia to come over here. We'll do that as a tradition. Again, the challenge would be the support that we continue to get from corporate sponsors. And like I said, we're privileged to continue to grow our relationship with New Power, Michael, you were in the team. And now that we have Kumu, we'll force that relationship and hope. I believe they see the positivity out of this, especially the impact to the rugby community and the youths that are following rugby.
Despite initial plans to include an Australian male and female team, logistics prevented their participation, but Upas remains optimistic about the future. With the successful execution of this year's tournament, the New Power Sports Talk Sevens will continue to foster growth and development in the sports across the region. Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
The Hela Wigmen franchise has made an emphatic statement in the 2025 season after securing back-to-back victories against the 2024 Digital ExxonMobil Cup premiers, the Mount Hagen Eagles, and the Central Dabaris in rounds 1 and 2. In a thrilling finish on Sunday, the Wigmen faced a formidable challenge from the Dabaris, but managed to surge home with a final score of 30 points to 24.
The main clash of the day was a roller coaster of excitement, with the Central Dabaris initially leading 24-12 at 1 point. However, the Hela Wigmen staged an incredible comeback in the final quarter, scoring 3 tries in quick succession. Key players for the Wigmen, including Loto Kuman, later named man of the match, and Mekwin Warinu, were instrumental in their comeback, helping to reclaim the lead in a nail-biting finish. The second half proved crucial as the Wigmen demonstrated resilience, determination, and exceptional teamwork to turn the game around in their favor. With their strong start to the season, the Hela Wigmen have set the tone for what promises to be an exciting campaign, signaling their capability to compete at the highest level in the league. Wigmen coach Yan Yaro said he's happy with the win and credited his boys for showing great resilience in their defense to shut out the fast-finishing Dabaris. Former Dabaris playmaker Lotte Kuman was Wigmen's man of the match.
Pretty much it's a really tough match. You know, they've come off a lose last week, but they prepared this week. You know, we a bit scrappy towards at the end, but we hold on to win the game, and just wanted to say thank you to all the boys that put in the effort together. I just need to carry the message to our trainers. You know, we knew we will come on top. We just need to grind in the middle and just play the set out, and we see where we can go.
Thank you. It's a great win. So it's back to our preparation. We prepared well during the week, so yeah, that's the result we wanted. Thanks. We have our leaders in the team, our leaders Solo and Manu, Tony, the whole team. They talked to us, and that's why they kept us. Thank you.
Terry Longwood, TV1 Sports.
And that ends the sports segment. Now for the weather forecast. Southern region, Port Moresby, some showers and possible thunderstorms. Alotau and Poponeta, occasional rain showers with possible thunderstorms. Momase, Ley, occasional rain showers with possible thunderstorms. New Guinea Islands, Kokopo and Rabaul, cloudy periods with few showers. Highlands, all centers, some showers and thunderstorms. Ocean forecast, Pearl Sea, seas smooth to slight with east to southeast winds of 5 to 15 knots. Solomon Sea, seas slight to moderate with east to southeast winds of 10 to 20 knots, tending southwest at times over the eastern sector. Bismarck Seas, seas smooth to slight with northeast to northwest winds of 5 to 15 knots. Pacific Ocean, seas smooth to slight with northeast to northwest winds of 5 to 15 knots, tending southwest over the western sector. And coastal waters forecast. Waters of Samari Island to Cape Vogel and all Milimbe Islands, seas 1 to 2 meters, rising to 2.5 meters at times along western Milimbe Islands. And waters of New Britain Island to Bougainville, seas 0.5 to 1.3 meters. And that ends another edition of TV1 News. Thanks for your company. Do take care out there. Stay safe. Good night.
The TV1 News was proudly brought to you by